change is so big that it would potentially. What is education? Books, classes, education is not that. It's beyond this. Education is a term that we have grown up listening to since we were kids, right from the beginning. Education and its need and importance. A luxury for the rich, a necessity for the bread earner, a dream for the underprivileged, an aspiration for the suppressed, a distant reality for the inaccessible. The primary objective of education is to impart knowledge. Education also has to integrate that acquired knowledge into practical and professional lives via necessary training. Education, thus, also plays a primary role in supporting the economic, social, and cultural sector of a country. It's a way to change the future today. The current education system can make people easy to lead, but difficult to drive, is either all academic, all virtual, or all costly. Also, it makes easy to govern, but impossible to enslave. We cannot win over the future by sabotaging our present with extreme disparity. IIU takes great pride in saying that we're bridging the gaps in education system. We're not just academicians, but also practically oriented. We're not just limited to virtual classes, but also physical exposure. We do not dig a hole in the pockets of the students and their families. We're everything that traditional education hasn't been. IIU has already implemented and promoting the MOOCs technology. When we talk about MOOCs technology, it stands for Massive, Open, Online Courses. The word massive is to be understood in the sense that 100,000 learners or more at the same time have open and equal opportunities to attend these courses. MOOCs are truly a tremendous technological leap, and what makes them so attractive is that they don't imply any cost to learners. IIU has tied up with more than 100 universities to provide more than 10,000 courses to the students, free of cost, with the help of MOOCs technology. We're a revolution in the making, a wind of change. Education is much more charming and intriguing than the temptations of distractions unnecessary. Our education policymakers must look into the problem to make a better system, which is more practical and provides hands-on learning to the students. Who are we? The International Internship University is a virtual university with state-of-the-art curriculum, real-life industry exposure, amazing student attention, learning-oriented resources, and most of all, a commitment to make the world a better place. Why do we exist? We exist to fulfill the necessity of the bread earner. We exist to help underprivileged achieve their dreams. We exist to fuel aspiration and accessibility. We exist to provide everyone the luxury of being capable of changing the world. We really do exist to ignite young minds and make them the torchbearers of tomorrow. For a better future, for the legacy of everyone who's left us, for the hope of everyone who's yet to come, and for the growth of everyone who walks this beautiful planet. We invite you to join our world-class educational team and platform with an altruistic dedication to creating the future. The change is so big that it would potentially impact millions across the world. Millions of children and youth around the world cannot wait any longer. Please join us in our effort to create the virtual learning generation of IIU, where IIU We're change. Welcome to our world, a new tomorrow. Project manager? Yes, 15 years of experience. Do you have any AI certifications? No, but
So can we start, Ms. Mahan?
Yes, sure.
So welcome everyone. Before we start, I want to be very clear about something. Today is not about learning a new AI tool. It's different, and it's not about technology itself. This session is about a shift that is already happening in our classrooms. As we know, we are moving from a world where we used to grades answer to a world where we must start evaluating thinking. So because now answers are everywhere, and if we continue assessing the same way, we risk measuring something that is no longer meaningful. Before we begin, I want to start with a very quick activity. On the screen, you can see 3 short responses. So please take a moment and read them carefully. So students learn best when they actively engage in meaningful learning experiences. Effective instruction requires differentiated support and cognitive engagement. Learning becomes powerful when students connect ideas to real-life situations. So my question for you, I will share a link using Poll Everywhere, and please so which response here? Okay, so it's not here. Okay, in the chat box, please. Which response sounds most human to you? Which one? What do you think? You can use the link in the chat box, or you can share your answer in the chat box.
Please, can you repeat the question?
Okay, so my question, which of these, okay, I shared here, sounds most human to you? And which response sounds most human to you? Which one, A, B, or C? Let me share your answer. A, C, C. Let's use the Poll Everywhere just to show your response. Okay. So which response sounds most human to you? Most of you answer here in the chat box. A and C, C, A. Okay. So now let me ask something even more important. To those who use A or C, what made you choose that answer? Was it the tone, the wording, simplicity, personal feeling? Why? Why you choose A and C? So to those who, Rani Hassan, all C, A, why? Can you tell me please why? Sentence structure and tone, feelings, maybe wording, simplicity. Thank you. Thank you for your engagement. Okay. So this is exactly where today's challenge begins. So what does this mean for assessment? For many years, we relied heavily on written answers, essays, structured responses as proof of learning, yes? But now, as you know, AI can generate answers in seconds. So the important question is no longer, can students produce answers? No, the real question becomes, can we still see their thinking? And this is exactly the shift we are exploring today. Not how to stop AI, but how to redesign assessment so that human thinking becomes visible again. So let's start with a simple situation that most of us have already experienced. Again, please look at this example carefully. A student is asked to explain the causes of the French Revolution. This is a very traditional classroom task, right? Now, please look at the response. It is well-structured, grammatically correct, as well academically acceptable. And the most surprising part, it was generated in seconds by using AI. Now, I want you to think honestly as educators and answer the question again by using the link in the chat box. Okay? So if this was submitted by a student, would you give it full marks? The link in the chat box. If this was submitted by a student, would you give it a full mark? You can leave your answer in the chat box. Okay, yes. Yes, okay. So most of you answered yes. Maybe. Maybe. Would you give it full marks? Okay, no. Yes. The higher one. The highest one here. So most of you answered yes. You will give the students a full mark. Okay, so what additional confidently Sorry, I lost the connection. I
Yeah.
will share my
Yeah,
screen
I
again.
noticed that. Don't worry, you can share your screen again.
Okay. So let me back. What additional evidence would you need before confidently grading the student? In the chat box, please. You can leave your answer as well. I will share the link with those who want to participate using Poll Everywhere. Please leave your answer here. What additional evidence maybe your evidence, oral explanation, maybe draft work, maybe justification, class discussion, reflection. Okay. Nobody has responded yet. Communication. Okay. Oral question. Excellent. Maybe draft work, justification, class discussion. Of course, all of these are evidence, right? So this is, thank you. This is where assessment now becomes complicated in the age of AI. Because for many years, we connected good answers to learning. But today, answers are everywhere. The real challenge now is identifying, thinking, reasoning, understanding, decision-making, not just impactful output. And this is exactly the shift we need to discuss today. Now, let's pause for a moment and think more deeply about what we just saw. We looked at a strong, well-crafted response, right? But the important question is not, is the answer correct? The real question is, what are we actually assessing? Are we assessing the final output? The ability to write a strong AI prompt? Or the smart student thinking? Because these are not the same thing anymore. As you know, in the past, we often assume good product means good understanding. But today, AI can generate essays, summaries, explanations, even lesson plans. And of course, very quickly, just one click. So now we must separate production from understanding. This is where assessments need to evolve. And honestly, this is no simple answer, because sometimes students are thinking while using AI, and sometimes they are only generating, right? That's why our role as educators becomes even more important. We must design assessments that makes thinking visible, not just answers visible. And before we continue, and I want to hear your opinion. What are we really assessing today? What are we really assessing today? What are we really assessing today? I will share the link in the chat box. You can answer the chat box or using this link for Poll Everywhere. Okay? Thinking. Thank you. Listen, Nora. Thinking. While waiting for the others. What are we really assessing today? Their ability to think outside the box, critical thinking, excellent, thank you. Most of you thinking, life skills. So thinking, critical thinking, okay, thank you. So as you mentioned, thinking, maybe creativity, yes, understanding, thank you, learning outcomes, output, reasoning, thank you. Okay, so notice how many different answers appeared. Thank you, thank you. Writing and output are results of thinking. Of course, that confusion itself reflects the reality educators are facing today. And this leads us to one of the most important ideas in today's session. We often hear people saying AI is destroying assessment. AI is ruining education. But honestly, AI did not break assessment. It exposed weaknesses that already existed. For many years, a large part of assessment focused on memorization, recall, predictable formats, repeating information, and we became comfortable with that, right? So, if students could produce a structured essay, correct definitions, organized summaries, we assumed learning had happened. But now AI can do these same tasks fluently, instantly. And this forces us to ask a very uncomfortable question. So if a machine like AI can complete the task successfully, so what exactly are we measuring? What exactly are we measuring? The problem is not AI itself. The problem is that many traditional tasks measure information reproduction, not deep understanding. And this is actually an opportunity for us as educators, because now we are being pushed to redesign assessment in a way that values reasoning, judgment. Please stop annotating on the screen. Thank you. Reasoning, judgment, decision-making, interpretation, human thinking. So instead of simply evaluating well-structured answers, so perhaps AI is not the challenge. It's the wake-up call education needed. Now again, please leave your answer by using the poll everywhere in the chat box and answer the question. Please, which type of task is most vulnerable to?
Bunny?
Which type of task? Okay, I will share the link in the chat box. And you can, of course, leave your answer in the chat box if you are not willing to use poll everywhere. Okay, which type of task is most vulnerable? Recall a question. Let's present this one in front of you. Standard essays, definitions and summaries, all of the above. Which type of task is most vulnerable to AI? Which one? All of the above. All. Thank you. Thank you. So please mute yourself just to not to make distraction. All of the above. Thank you, everyone. So all of the above. Recall questions, standard essays, definitions, and summaries. Now, I want us to move away from theory for a moment and talk about something very real. Because I think many of us have experienced this recently. A student submits excellent work. The structure is perfect. The language is advanced. Everything looks impressive. But then, when you ask the student, Ms. Maha, can you mute, please, the participants? A student submits excellent work.
Done.
The structure is perfect. The language is advanced. Everything looks impressive. But then, When you ask the student to explain the word verbally, they struggle. And this creates a very uncomfortable situation for teachers, because now we start questioning, did the student truly understand? Was this independently produced? Is the grade actually reflecting learning? And honestly, this is emotionally and exhausting for educators, because assessment is not about grading papers. It's about trust, fairness. It's about understanding students. And this is why the conversation about AI cannot only focus on cheating. The deeper issue is this: we are losing visibility into student thinking. So the connection between learning, thinking, evidence is becoming unclear. And when that happens, teachers naturally feel uncertain. Not because they are weak educators, of course, but because the assessment landscape itself is changing. So the question becomes, how do we rebuild meaningful evidence for learning again? And this is where understanding by design becomes extremely important. So have you experienced this situation before? Now, please leave your answer in the chat box. Have you experienced this situation before? Student submits excellent work, perfect, the language is advanced, everything looks impressive. Yes, in writing. Yes, of course. Of course. Yes, that is why I changed my method. Excellent, Ms. Hanan. Amina, yes. Thank you all. Yes, I knew it was AI. So now, the important question is not whether assessment should change. The question is how we redesign it intentionally. Okay? We have to redesign our assessment. At this point, many educators ask, so how do we redesign assessment in a structured way? And this is exactly, as I mentioned, where understanding my design becomes very powerful. But when it comes to the explanation, they aren't able to illustrate their work. Yes, yes, Ms. Hiba, as I mentioned before, verbally they struggled. So most of you are already familiar with this framework, right? Understanding by designs, the UbD framework. But today we are revisiting it through a completely new lens, the AI age. So let's quickly revisit the 3 stages. The first one is the desired results. This stage focuses on what do we truly want students to know, to understand, and be able to do. Not just memorize, not just repeat, but transfer knowledge, apply ideas, make meaning, solve problems. This stage forces us to think beyond content coverage. Stage 2, which is the most important stage in today's discussion, because this stage asks, how will students demonstrate understanding? And this is exactly where traditional assessment becomes at risk. If the evidence is weak, then even strong instructions becomes difficult to measure meaningfully. In the AI age, evidence matters more than ever. We must design assessments that reveal reasoning, process, judgment, thinking, not just well-structured answer. Stage 3, learning plan. This stage focuses on what learning experiences will appear to measure students for success. in another way, يعني, what learning experiences will prepare students for success? The activities, the instruction, the scaffolding, the classroom experiences, everything should align with the evidence we want students to produce. But today, I want you to focus especially on one important shift. In the AI age, stage 2 becomes the heart of assessment design because if we cannot clearly verify learning, then grade lose meaning. Okay? So, my question for you, why do you think evidence has become the most critical stage today? Again, why do you think evidence has become the most critical stage today? Leave your answer, please, in the chat box. Why do you think evidence has become the most critical stage today? So maybe because it measures their competences. Excellent, Miss Aya. Maybe AI can generate outputs. It measures their knowledge. Thank you, Miss Rima. It means you are able to understand. Yes, answers alone are not enough. Because without evidence of student work, there will not be real learning. Measuring output. Thank you, everyone, for your participation. So why do you think evidence has become the most critical stage today? AI can generate outputs, the process matters more, thinking must be visible, answers alone are not enough. Now that we understand why evidence matters so much, we also need to rethink the learning goals themselves, because assessment cannot change if our goals stay exactly the same. For a long time, education focused heavily on remembering information, recalling facts, producing standard answers. Yes, Ms. Hina, yes, evidence provides how our teaching is impacting our students' learning. Of course, thank you. And as you know, for a long time, that made sense. But today, AI already performs many of these tasks extremely well. It can summarize, explain, organize, generate reports, answer factual questions very quickly, just in one click. So instead of focusing mainly on what students know, we must increasingly focus on what students can do with what they know. And transfer is one of the most important concepts in UbD. So to those who are engaged now and participate, I know very well that they know, they have background about this framework. So to those who feel that this session may be confused, I'm pretty sure that they don't know the UbD framework. So this is where human-centered skills become extremely important. Things like judgment, empathy, ethical thinking, interpretation, decision-making, communication. These are much harder to automate. And that means they become even more valuable in education. So the shift is not from learning to AI. The shift is from memorization to meaningful thinking. And this does not reduce the importance of knowledge, of course. Knowledge still matters, but now knowledge alone is no longer enough. In the chat box again, please. What human skill is hardest for AI to truly replicate? What human skills Okay, here the link in the chat box. So what a human skill is hardest for AI to truly replicate? Yeah, take a moment, please, and leave your answer in the chat box or by using this link. What a human skill is hardest for AI to truly replicate? What do you think? Which is very important, by the way. As educators, we know that AI doesn't, emotional, moral, critical thinking, emotional intelligence. Excellent, Miss Nada. Excellent, Dr. Jack, Miss Hanan. Thank you. Emotions, feelings, Miss Rania. Thank you. Nora, deep critical thinking, feelings. Yes, feelings. Empathy, ethics, creativity, reasoning, emotional intelligence, as you mentioned, communication, decision making, right? Thank you. Thank you, everyone. So notice that most of these skills are deeply human. Yes, Ms. Rima. That can be answered by emotional intelligence. Thank you. And these are exactly the types of abilities assessment should begin emphasizing more intentionally. Okay. So once our goals begins to shift, the next critical question becomes what kind of evidence actually proves these human skills are happening? This slide represents the core idea of today's entire session because in the AI age, the final product alone is no longer enough. For decades, assessment focused mainly on essays, reports, final answers, completed products, and we treated those products as proof of learning. But now we face a new reality. AI can generate high quality outputs very quickly, which means the output itself no longer guarantees understanding. So what should we assess instead? We should assess the process behind the product by paying attention to students' thinking, reasoning, drafts, revisions, decision-making, and reflection, which is what UbD describes as evidence of learning. This is very important shift, moving from asking what did the student submit to asking how did the student arrive there? Because the process reveals the students' misconceptions, choices, understanding, and the growth. So making learning for more visible and much harder to make it fake, right? So this is also where assessment redesign becomes intentional. We began creating tasks that include personal interpretation, local context, justification, reflection, authentic application, requiring students to think deeply, not simply generate answers. And this leads to the most important sentence. We are moving from grading the destination to evaluating the journey. Yes, Ms. Hiba. Yes, of course, connection to real life experience. When they make use of their choices, they will be able to think critically. Yes, sure, me. Thank you. Ms. Aya, students usually don't accept the change the way of assessment. Once I do that, it became an issue from students' side. You know, they are relying on the AI and chatbot. So because today the destination can be generated, that's why. But the journey still reveals the learner. Now let's apply this shift in thinking to your own teaching practice. Think about one assessment you use. Ask yourself, if students use AI, what is left for them to think about? What human skill am I actually measuring? Do they make decisions or just follow instructions? These questions help us distinguish between weak and strong evidence. Now that we have discussed the importance of evidence, let's make the difference more real and easier to see. Today, not all evidence of learning is equally meaningful. Some assessment tasks can easily be completed by using AI, while others still clearly show the students' real thinking, understanding, and growth as well. So the real difference is whether we are only looking at the final answer or paying attention to the thinking and learning behind it. So let's begin with weak evidence. Weak evidence usually focus on recall, repetition, summarizing information, predictable formats. Yes, Ms. Hiba, sure, they will end up as passive students, yes. For weak evidence, I will give you an example, like defining terms, listing facts, writing generic essays, completing standard worksheet. The issue is not that these tasks are bad. The issue is AI can now complete many of them very successfully. And if AI can easily generate the response, then the task alone cannot fully prove understanding. All of us as educators, at the end of the session, we apply the exit ticket, right? This is a kind of evidence just to know if the students understand, right? So you have to redesign. You have to redesign the assessment, redesign the evidence. So now let us compare this with the strong evidence. I give you weak evidence, now the strong evidence. Strong evidence asks students to justify decisions, critique ideas. As you go up Bloom's taxonomy, yes, Ms. Hanan, exactly. Justify decisions, critique ideas, analyze deeply, transfer knowledge, solve authentic problems. These tasks require students to think visibly. I will give you an example. Defining a solution, improving an AI-generated response, applying concepts to a local issue, explaining reasoning. This type of evidence is much harder to automate because it depends on judgment, interpretation, context, personal reasoning. And this leads to one of the biggest shifts in assessment today. We move from asking, what is the answer, to asking, how do you know? Because understanding is not only about producing information, it's about explaining reasoning. And honestly, this doesn't mean every traditional task must disappear, but it does mean we need to ask ourselves, does this task reveal thinking or only reproduce information? Now, let's move from ideas into real classroom practice. On the screen in front of you, you see two different classroom tasks. At first, both may look pure, academically strong, right? But I want you to look beyond the topic itself and focus on the kind of thinking each task asks students to demonstrate. Please take about 1 minute to read both tasks carefully. Thank you, Ms. Aisha. Take 1 minute to read both tasks carefully. So, now ask yourself, which task could AI complete more easily? And which task truly shows the student's own thinking and understanding? The first one. Okay. Let's see. Look at task A, okay? Together, look at task A. If ask student to summarize the water cycle, this task mainly focus on recall, explanation, organizing information. And honestly, AI can complete this task extremely well and very quickly because the information already exists everywhere, as I mentioned before. Now look at task B. Students must compare two communities, analyze impact, propose a solution, apply understanding to a real situation. So this task requires what? Requires judgment, transfer, contextual thinking, decision making, and this makes it much stronger evidence. Thank you all. You said task B. Excellent. Why? Because this task requires judgment, transfer. Yes. Even for task B, if they will use AI, they will still have to think to feed info to AI. And this makes it much stronger evidence because the students must think beyond information. So here, the difference is not the subject. The difference is the cognitive demand. One task mainly asks, can you reproduce information? The other asks, can you use knowledge meaningfully? And that distinction is becoming extremely important in the age of AI. So now that we have clearly identified the problem, the question is no longer, is this task weak? No, the real question is, how do we fix it? And this is where this part of the session becomes very practical. You don't need to start from zero. What you need is to upgrade your tasks. And that's exactly what this redesign lab is about. These 4 strategies are like tools you can use to strengthen your task. Okay? First one, add comparison. So instead of looking at one idea, students connect ideas. Second one, add critique. So students evaluate, not just produce. Yes, learning has taken place. Thank you. Exactly. 3, add improvements. Students refine and adapt, not just submit. 4th strategy, add justification. Students explain their thinking, not just give answers. So each of these strategies does one important thing. It makes thinking visible. It makes the task harder to outsource. It shifts the focus from product to process. Now, don't try to use all 4 at once. Even adding one of these can significantly improve your task. Adding 2 make it much stronger. So instead of staying at the level of theory, let's take now each strategy one by one and see how it actually looks inside a real classroom task. Let's start with the first strategy, which is adding comparison. Okay? Most traditional tasks ask students to focus on one thing. Explain this concept. Describe this event. Write about this topic. The problem is AI is very good at explaining a single idea. So when we ask for explanation only, we are not really pushing thinking. But when we add comparison, we force students to connect ideas, identify differences, make judgments. This requires deeper thinking. AI can generate general information, but when you ask students to compare, especially using specific, local, or unique data, it becomes harder to rely only on AI. Because now the task is not just knowledge, It's about relationships between ideas. Okay? I'm giving you this example. So instead of describe the Great Depression, we ask compare if, يعني compare this with the 2008 crisis using specific local sources. So now the student must what? Must analyze, must connect, must interpret, not to just repeat information. So in comparison, students here move from knowing to what? To thinking. So instead of just asking students to explain, we ask them to connect ideas. Now let's move to the next level. What if we ask students not just to connect, but to evaluate? The second strategy is add critique. Traditionally, we ask students to write, explain, produce, but now we shift their role from creator to evaluator. So, to critique something, students must what? Must understand it deeply, identify errors, justify their reasoning. And of course, this requires real understanding. Here's where AI becomes useful. Instead of fighting AI, we use it as a starting point. We give students an AI-generated answer and ask, what is wrong here? What is missing? So in the example, students analyze an AI interpretation of a poem. They must what? Identify missing metaphors, explain why they matter. This proves they understand the text better than the AI. So critique forces students to what? To think beyond the answer. So now we moved from explaining, comparing, to evaluating. But we can go even deeper. What if students don't just evaluate, but also improve? This moving us to the third strategy, add improvement. Right? Most tasks are one submission, one final answer. But real learning doesn't happen like that. Learning is messy, evolving. So instead of submit your work, we ask improve your work based on new conditions. AI can generate a perfect answer, but it cannot handle real classroom context, unexpected change, mistakes, real experiences, right? So another example, and students must adjust their work based on an actual experiment issue. This is in the lab. And students must adjust their work based on an actual experiment issue. Now they are thinking, adapting, applying knowledge. So improvement here shows how students think, not just what they know. So now students compare, critique, improve, but there is still something missing. We still don't fully see their thinking. So now we move to the final strategy, making thinking visible, which is add justification. Even after completing a task, we often still don't know why the student chose their answer. So we ask, explain your thinking, not just the answer, but the reasoning behind it. AI can generate answers, but it cannot truly explain personal decisions or reasoning process. This is uniquely human. Uniquely human. I will give you an example. Students record a voice note or write a thinking log. They explain why they chose their answer, what they struggled with, what decision they made. So now justification transforms hidden thinking to visible thinking. Now that we have all four strategies, let us see what this actually looks like in real classroom tasks. Okay? We move from theory to real examples. Let's start with something very familiar to all of us. Okay? This one is the classic English task. Write a 5-paragraph essay. This is something we have all used. For years, we believed if a student writes a good essay, they understand, they have the writing skills. But now, let's be honest, AI can write this essay perfectly. It can include quotes, structure, arguments. So we have to ask, what are we really assessing here? Writing structure or actual thinking? For this wonderful, thank you, Muhammad, thank you. Right, what are we really assessing here? Writing structure or actual thinking? The issue is not the topic. The issue is the format. The 5-paragraph essay is predictable, structured, easy to replicate, which makes it easy for AI to generate. Now, look at the redesigned revision. Instead of writing an essay, students critique an AI-generated response, identify what is missing, improve it, connect it to a real-life example. Here is the shift. Now the student must what? Think critically, evaluate ideas, make decisions, apply knowledge. And of course, this cannot be done blindly. So we didn't remove the topic. We changed the thinking required. So here in English, we moved from writing to thinking. But this is not just for language subjects. Let's see how the same shift applies in math and science as well. Look at this example. Read. Solve 10 problems using the Pythagorean theorem. Okay, this is a very common task. And again, we assume if students solve correctly, they understand. But today, AI tools solve these instantly. Step-by-step explanations are generated automatically. So again, we face the same issue. Are we measuring thinking or just execution? So calculation is no longer the challenge. It's available everywhere. So if we only assess calculation, we are assessing something that is already automated. Now, look at the redesigned version. Students in this version find a real object, measure it, apply the concept, explain common mistakes. Here is the transformation. Now the task includes what? Real problem, real world application, interpretation, communication, error analysis. This is much deeper than solving equations. So we moved from what? From solving to understanding to explaining. And here's something very important. If a student can explain mistakes, that means they truly understand the concept. So now we have seen how a task can be transformed, how thinking becomes visible. The next question is, how do you design tasks like this consistent? And this is where we use a simple structure to guide us. Okay? So, how do we design like this consistently? Because we don't want random improvements. We want a clear way of thinking and planning. This template in front of you is simply a way to organize your thinking when designing assessment. It follows UbD, but adapted to the AI context. So walk through stage 1. Start with what do you want students to do with their learning? Not understand, know, but what, apply, evaluate, justify, transfer. Okay, so move to stage 2, which is evidence. What is UbD? UbD is
Miss
a
Mona,
framework,
I just
understanding by
share a
design.
note.
Okay, so move to stage 2. Yalla, 5 minutes and we will finish since you have an event. Okay, so move to stage 2, which is evidence. Yes, Miss Maha?
Yes, exactly. I would like to ask them. Yes, Mona.
Your voice is lagging. So, okay. As we redesign,
Just a reminder, because as you know, we have to move to
yes, I still have 2 minutes
another
and I will finish. Yalla, 2 minutes.
event.
Not more than 2 minutes. Okay, so as we redesign, let's avoid these common mistakes. Don't just make tasks longer. AI can write 20 pages as easily as one. And don't use AI just to to be innovative if it doesn't serve a clear purpose. So the goal isn't just to stop AI, it's to add deep work that makes human thinking indispensable. Okay, and you don't need fancy tech to do this. Okay, so okay. So before you head out, let's nail down these 3 takeaways. If AI can do your task, you know what to do. Redesign it. If students aren't explaining their thinking, you need to push them. And if an assessment feels too easy, it's probably time to rethink it. We owe it to our students to measure what truly matters. This leads us to our final thoughts. So before we close, I don't want this to be just another session you attended. I wanted to lead to one small real change. Take a moment and think about this. What is the first assessment you will design? So you will redesign, not later, not next year, please, this week. What is one question you are still thinking about? Because good question mean you are reflecting, you are challenging, you are patient. Thank you for your time, your engagement, and your openness to rethink something so important. I truly appreciate it, and I hope this session gives you not just ideas, but confidence to start redesigning. To those who are asking about what is the UbD framework, please follow Ms. Maha on the WhatsApp. I will share with you the previous session about UbD, just to know, like, to have a background, what is this framework. Thank you for all. Thank you, Maha. To those who came late, you can watch it recorded on the Facebook or on the YouTube channel. Maha, are you hearing me?
Yes, thank you, Mona. Thank you all for being with us today. Just a reminder before closing the session to fill in the certificate link. We need to say goodbye because as the doctor
Please don't forget to fill the
start,
Google form. Please, Maha, can you share the
just
Google form again?
thank you all for being with us today. Happy for your
Okay.
today, like usual.
They are asking about the certificate and the link for a Google.
Okay, just 1 minute.
Okay, they shared it
Yes.
again.
And I shared more
Thank you.
than one time. So if you please, yes. And I shared twice on the chat box, and we have it again. I want to thank you all for being with us today, and stay tuned for more sessions. Goodbye, everyone.
Thank you.